Well, for the moment, the First Amendment still resides in the Bill of Rights. The left has to look for other, more creative means to silence views it disagrees with. A new motion passed unanimously by the City Council of Los Angeles requires all contractors with the city to disclose publicly any ties they have to the NRA. The message is very clear. We control what you think. Ethan Behrman is a radio show host in the state of California, and he joins us tonight. So, Ethan, are you now or have you ever been a member of the NRA? Have you ever had contact with anyone who is knowingly or unknowingly? Before we proceed.
I have not been a member, and I know lots of people who are members of the NRA.
Okay, so obviously that shouldn't be allowed. They shouldn't be able to do business with the city of Los Angeles, which collects tax money from everybody, but only people who conform to certain ideological standards should be able to do business with Los Angeles. I'm sure you agree with that, right?
Well, actually, I just disclosed mine, so I guess I should be able to get a contract with the city. That's all they're requiring is disclosure, especially in light of the fact that the Trump administration issued the rules to pushed the IRS to have the new rules that say, hey, dark money is great. I would think, Tucker, you would be behind exposing dark money so we can know who is actually contributing to different groups.
No, this is a voluntary association. So, for example, I took riflery certifications from the NRA in summer camp in about 1978. In the state of California, in fact. Would that disqualify me?
No, as long as you disclose it. That's all the city of Los Angeles is asking. This is a big issue. So we have gun crime problems in the United States. Obviously, you've talked about it on your show. And the city of Los Angeles is trying to address this. We in California are finding that the NRA is doing things like blocking universal background checks or fighting against that. We see that as a reasonable step. So this is a way of putting political pressure, no question about it, on groups like the NRA.
Well, it's a way of suppressing free speech and punishing free association. So could we apply the same rules to the ACLU? The ACLU has, of course, argued on behalf of criminals for 100 years. You could easily make the case that they've increased the amount of violent crime in this country. Have you ever given money to the ACLU? If you have, we're punishing you. Would that be a fair standard?
Yeah, I think if you're being punished is something different. All they're asking for, again,
how about
is
mandatory disclosure? Well, how about mandatory disclosure? You give money to Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood kills people, literally kills people. Causes the leading cause of death of Americans, Planned Parenthood. Shouldn't we know? I mean, just disclosure, mandatory disclosure if you've given money to Planned Parenthood. Is that fair?
I think this becomes fair game, though, right? So let's say the city of wherever, it does. I mean, you're making the logical point, which is if you're going to require, but cities have a long record of this. They do things like if you want to have a contract with us, 50% of the labor is going to be union labor.
No,
you're going to pay a minimum of $17 an hour.
You can do a lot of stuff. No. I mean, you can make everyone wear a Viking hat if you wanted, or stand on one foot, or whatever. Should you? That's the question. Not, should you do this?
Yes, I think in the case of Los Angeles and the state of California, it takes a very different view regarding firearm laws. We have somebody who is about to become governor who's taking a very strong stance here, Gavin Newsom, on these topics. And the city of Los Angeles has been very frustrated. The city attorney, Mike Fuhrer, has fought hard to find where these guns are coming from.
So anyone who supports the NRA, which supports the Second Amendment, is punished. You don't see that. We're almost out of time, but sincerely answer my question. You don't see that as a precedent that's scary? This McCarthyite, that's everything you hate?
I don't. I think that we're asking people to disclose who they're donating money to, and then, but to your point, that now becomes fair game. And by the way, fair game is, I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow on my show, Tucker.
I know, I can't wait, because when we did this with communists, it was the end of the world. And it was wrong, by the way. Thank you, Ethan, great to see you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Tucker.
Well, we just want to thank you again. We asked you to put Ship of Fools to the #1 spot on the New York Times bestseller list, and you did that. We had nothing to do with it. I just want to say one more time with great and complete sincerity that this show wouldn't exist and this book wouldn't be succeeding without your support. And so thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. We're going to be back tomorrow night and every weeknight going forward, because we are the sworn enemy of lying, pomposity, smugness, and groupthink. And if you think pomposity, smugness, and groupthink and lying aren't omnipresent, watch the news.